Hey guys, before we get started, I wanted to share this with you. I woke up to this 3 weeks ago. Our power went out the next day, and we spent nearly 2 weeks completely without power or help. This ice storm got our whole city, and we are just now cleaning the mess up and getting back on our feet. Hey y'all, this is Cindy. I'm the Tireless Tangler, and I want to welcome you to my channel. Thank you for being here for another episode of Tangle Time. Today we are going to be doing the Tangle Fassett by Lynn Mead, CCT, and Icantoo by Hanny Waldburger, CCT. All right, guys, let's look at these tangles and see what's going on. Icantoo is Hanny's version of Icantoo. That is a Zentangle original pattern. Although I don't see much similar to that. Well, I suppose there is similarity. So still, I love this. I love this tangle. It is so pretty and so organic, and so we know that Cindy is going to be a fan of that. So let's take Icantoo and break it down. There are two versions that Hanny has on the step out of ways to draw this. And these are here because, not because I wanted to give you a nice example, but because I recorded this a minute ago, or I thought I recorded it a minute ago, but didn't have the camera on. So here we go again. All right. So the first method is to start with this little spiral, okay? Like that. And it does not have to be perfect. It doesn't have to look exactly like mine, and do it how you want. Then we're going to make these two bumps. So one C shape and one that's sort of an S shape inverted, like this. Then we're going to sort of round that out like this. I'm going to leave a gap here, okay? Then the next step, we're going to sort of aura this line and then add our little stem or a little extra vein there. And that would be one version. Now in the step out, she has this actually touching, and I do the second version of this because of this issue right here. I can't quite get the size of it to do. Now, if I had been smart, I would have started here and drawn this up in this way, and then maybe I wouldn't have that problem. But let me show you the second method of this. And then, of course, you finish these off with these little circular pie pieces that you ink in or decorate or whatever you want to do with them, okay? So the method that I like for drawing this is to start with your little stem line. Oops. No glasses today, guys. I started again without the glasses. It's terrible. There we go. All right, I got them. Ooh, look. Now I can see. I never realize how blind I am until I take the glasses off and put them back on. Okay. So we start with the little stem, okay? And then I'm going to start back here and aura the stem line and come to a point. That's sort of a inverted S. And then we're going to do our little bump here and a bump here. And then I'm going to kiss this line just a little bit as I come around. And this is the method that I find works best for me. Now you could make these little orbs if you wanted to, although I'm not sure you're going to be able to tell, so, you know, do what you want. You could handle these either way. Yeah, you could ink in this little interstice. Whoa, what's the singular of interstices? I don't know. Something to ask yourself. All right. So let's take Icantoo and go to our tile and put it with Fassett by Lynn Mead and see what we can come up with, okay? All right, so for today, I'm going to be working on a gray toned tile. This is a Zentangle an original Zentangle tile, and 3.5 inches by 3.5 inches for those who are beginners and aren't aware. All right, I sometimes forget that my audience is many beginners and not experienced tanglers, and I don't want to forget. Now I am going to draw my border in pencil a little bit darker today. I'm going to really try to make it so you guys can see it better. It just seems to disappear, which is supposed to do. You guys make yours as light as possible, okay? All right, so I'm just gonna square off the borders for today, and here's what I'm planning on. I'm going to make a border and use Icantoo on that all the way around, and then in the center, I am going to put Lynn Mead's Fassett, which is one of my very favorite patterns of all time because it takes nothing and makes it look like something. And that is a big favorite with me. All right, so I'm not going to make this too complex and I'm not going to make it too small. So what I'm going to do is use this border line as a base and sort of make my stem line or my little vein lines like this, and then I'm going to right here do my aura, like this. And so I think I'm going to make the point, I think I'll come right here. I'm not sure I'm getting these all correct, but you're going to see this is going to work even so. I almost went too far with that one. Yeah, I'm going to like this. All right. I'm changing the way I'm drawing this for some reason. And I'm not doing it on purpose. What I'm doing is, I need to be doing is an inverted S. And I think the reason I'm having problems with it is because I'm coming from another direction than I was drawing in to begin with, because I'm wanting to start exactly here. So I'm starting off the tip just a little bit, and then when I do my aura line, I'm starting at the tip of the last one that we drew. And I just think I have a little bit more control over what happens this way. And of course, if you like the other method, you may do that. I'm going to go back through and decide what I'm doing in these little spots, in these little V spots, when I get done with the large elements. So I'll be back around for that. Let's see. Take your time. If you happen to run into something you've already drawn, just draw behind, as we do in the hollabah fashion. Now on this one, I haven't done this exactly on the line as I did the other one because I was hoping to find my zen with this. So I'm going to start like this. See, it really does make a difference on how this looks depending on whether I draw it down or draw it up. So I find that interesting. And these do not need to look exactly alike. Each one can have their own personality if that's what you want. And of course, that's what I'm going to get, my own personality. So what I think I'm going to do from here on out is start where I'm used to. Simba is after a fly over here, so don't be concerned by the weirdness you hear in the background. Simba, did you get it? Did you nab that fly? So I'm still working on it. Okay, I'm drawing from here. So, yeah, I can't quite get my groove on going the other direction. So I'm just going to... But it was nice and neat that way, wasn't it? Okay. So now I'm going to put this... Okay, I'm going to try something here that I'll probably regret. No, that'll work. I'm thinking about my embellishment here and how this is going to end, and so I'm trying to take that into consideration. And I was trying to decide whether to go ahead and draw it now, which might be a very good idea. So that's about what I want to do there. And then, as I said, we'll just draw the rest behind like that, okay? So I'm going to have to come from the top down to get any kind of consistency. Which means that I probably won't be too consistent with this top thing. Okay. Nope. Okay, one more side. I should have done this one too. Now it is my intention to use a jelly roll there, so I am not too concerned. Since this is a tan tile, I always want to take into consideration whether I can use a white charcoal pencil or a jelly roll to really make it pop up. And I think we will. I'm not having too much luck with the consistency of size. That's all right. It does not have to be perfect, guys. Thank goodness. It's such a blessing. And that one was just determined to be large. Okay, and we'll just do this one from here. Now, what am I going to do here? Well, we're going to go behind. That one was a little bit more problematic. Let's see. Well, I am going to be coming through here with line weight, rounding, and that kind of thing. All right, let's go through here and get our little orbs or whatever we're going to do with this in. I'm going to draw mine in as orbs, but they may end up looking like just, you know, pie pieces like they did on the step out. Simba is hunting this fly, and he is very serious about catching it. Simba, quit licking your lips, buddy. They know you're coming. So I'm guessing the fall has arrived in Oklahoma. The ice storm has been a challenge. I'll tell you, the next challenge is going to be getting the car out of the driveway. Oops, I should have drawn these on. So for those of you who are behind, draw your little orbs in before you move on. Because I am not sure how well this is going to work out all the way around. We're going to find out. Anytime you're planning or you have the possibility of drawing behind, it's always a good idea to move forward as completely as possible, meaning draw each step of the tangle completely before you move on to the next one. In that, if I had followed that advice on this, I would not have some of the little orb issues, although I was aware of it before I got started too far. And I should have stopped and gone ahead, but I didn't. Sometimes unexpected stuff happens and you can't get away from it. All right. So for now, I am going to leave these where they are, okay? I will be coming in to sort of ink in these little V's underneath. Okay. So now what we want to do here is draw in some random triangles so that we can put Fassett in this little framework, okay? So Fassett is a very, very, very simple pattern. It is done by drawing random triangles, okay? So how to divide all of this into random triangles? Well, there's a lot of different ways, but one way is to just start in the center, or you can start on a corner. That also is very easy. You just want the points of the triangles to match up with the next one. So wherever you're going to go next with a triangle, just randomly do them. They don't have to be perfect. In fact, the result that you get is more interesting if it is not. And in these situations, because we drew in the Icantoo on top, we're going to be drawing some of this behind. Now, as I see some messy lines already that I've got here, I'm going to remind myself to take my time, take some deep breaths. Now, as you can see, these can look however you want them to, right? They don't have to be perfect. And I think I'll edge that out, and this one we're going to leave. We'll see. So now that you get too close to the edge, then we've got another one here. All right. And let's make a big one here. And they don't even have to be exactly straight, which you're going to find with me, and that's fine too. I think straight is just, yeah. Yeah, if you don't want to make it too big, always edge that out and start another one down here, and you just pretend that that's a triangle down there. Okay, so now that I've got that, I'm going to go up here. And I think I'll leave the rest, okay? Now, this side is not random. This one is a little bit more random. I think you will find out that no matter where you start, it's going to turn out okay, all right? So the next step that we do for Fassett is we're going to put a series of smaller triangles. Try to make them evenly spaced inside each of these larger ones. So let me give you an example of that. Not hard, right? We can fit another one in. You probably want at least two arid triangles in the center. But you could have more if you want, or I don't know about less. And so it does not matter what the outer shape of the triangle is. You're just going to aura it on the inside like this. And I think I can fit another one in here, so I'm going to. There we go. I might be able to fit another one in here. We'll see. If not, I'll end up inking it, and that's fine. Okay, so when you get to these ones where you don't have the complete triangle, you're going to have to imagine one. Okay. So this is one point. The other point will be here. And we're going to take this, let's do some imagining here. I think this will go all the way down. And so on this one, we're going to just imagine, okay? And then we'll put one more in here. That may be less effective. We're going to find out. Just take your time. Make some nice, neat lines. Focus on each line, each stroke of the pen. If you have wiggly, deckled lines like I do, embrace them. Embrace them, because I promise you, you're not going to be able to tell they're there. When we get done, this is going to be a huge, cool thing, and nobody is going to care that there are some lines that are shaky. And if they do care, we don't really care what they think, so that's where we're going to be at. This is artistic journey time. We are going to relax and just focus on drawing some lines, straightish lines, deckled lines, whatever kind of lines, whatever kind of lines you happen to have. Bless my Mari. Now, for those of you who are with me still, about 20 minutes in, this is an awesome day. On Friday, my baby and I adopted each other. We are a forever family now, and no one can ever take him from me again. We are going to keep him safe and happy and hopefully fed, which is a challenge. And love having a boy. Love having a son. I am very grateful and blessed. I am showing you guys pictures of us at the courthouse with the judge. Let's do this. That'll be the end of our triangle. Just do the best you can on these that are underneath. There. Sort of faked that one, but it's going to work just like that. You know, and if you can't figure this part out, just do the best you can. Start around it and work your way out. And I think you'll find once you get into these more complicated ones, once you have gotten some of the lines in, you're going to start to see, oh, there needs to be another one there, or, that kind of thing. So just take your time. Start with the ones. If you have questions, you're not sure what to do, start with the ones that you know what to do in, okay? If you're a beginner and you don't want to draw behind, you might want to draw your Fassett pattern first and then draw your Icantoo around it. I like to encroach with my organic onto my more flat type of tangles, and so I enjoy this kind of a thing. And when you do that, you of course need to do your organic encroachment first and then go in behind. But if that is not something you want to do, or if it makes you crazy and it's not working out for you, then don't worry. Just do the ones you can, or just do it flat, or you can do a tile for each one if that's what you want. This is all about creativity. And I want you guys to remember to let your creativity do its thing. I think for me, the joy of Zentangle is that it gives my creativity a safe place to start. And as I have practiced over the last few years and gotten better, you know, it makes a big difference. Just let your creativity do its thing. Okay? You can tell I've got some with tiny little ones in the middle and some that are bigger. I am going to ink some of these, so if these little ones don't feel right to me, then I'm going to change them. But we don't need to worry about that right now, because what we're going to do now is just fill in these triangles with our lines. So we're going to have this down here. And like this. There. Once you get that outer one done, the inner ones are really easy. And you do not have to do your triangular shapes randomly. You can put them in neatly. I think on the step out on tanglepatterns.com, Lynn has some examples of putting this in a grid and making it a fragment, and those are very interesting meta patterns that come out when you do that. I love this pattern because of how versatile it is and how simple and easy to draw and how cool it looks when you're done. Slow down, Cindy. Getting a little out of whack there. Slow down, Cindy. I am getting wound up here. I see the end coming, and so I'm ready to be finished. This is part of the mindfulness of Zentangle. Taking your time, breathing, and focusing on each stroke of the pen. That is where the meditation comes from. Okay. So I helped myself out down here by putting the end line in. I'm going to make a straight line. There we go. Okay. All that thinking helps you out, except when it doesn't. All right. I need for you guys who are in the 3rd tier and 2nd tier membership groups to be watching the community tab in the next 3 days. There will be a Zia video, and there will be a live class, and I want to be able to make sure that I am in touch with my 3rd tier people too. So keep an eye out. Whoops. Now this one is really small and obscured, so we're just going to put some fake aura lines in here like that. We're not going to worry about the rest, okay? So after you have gotten all of your triangles filled in, here's what we're going to do. We're going to start at the center line, at the middle shape, okay, on one of the corners. We're going to draw a line from corner to corner to corner all the way out like this, okay? And we're going to do this. We did this with one other that we've done recently, and I can't remember which one it was. But this is what we're going to do. Just like this. Now watch. Watch as the magic happens. Corner to corner to corner. Okay. You start in the center, and then each corner. All right. Now, keep going. You're going to see the meta pattern emerge, which is very cool. Are you seeing it yet? Let me know in comments if you like this tangle. It is one of my very favorite ones for all the reasons I have listed. I'm curious to know what you guys think. Oops, I forgot one, didn't I? All right, now. I love using this at around the holidays or in the winter because it reminds me of little snowflakes. Now, you see the difference here between leaving a larger area like this and a smaller area like this. Now, I said earlier I am planning to ink these, right? Like this. Now, okay, if you feel like this is too small, ink out to the next line, and you've got something that is more consistent with what you've done, okay? Like this. Cool? All right, let's keep going. And you can see why I say deckled lines, shaky lines do not matter. Do not matter. By the time we get this shaded, you guys are going to go, oh, I love this. I love it. And you do not have to ink these little center pieces if you do not wish to. That is your choice. You may have done something entirely different than me. And if that is the case, please post it to Instagram and tag me so I can see. I have been so far behind on everything, but now that my boy is mine forever, you're mine forever, buddy. Nah. Now that he's mine forever and I can stop having all of the extra stuff that was involved with the kid, all the paperwork and the visits and all the extra stuff we were doing, all done. All done. So I am hopeful that I will be able to get back on track. And maybe I'll be a little bit more productive now that I don't have all of that hanging over my head. That will be lovely. And you can see here on these ones that are mostly obscured that it does not matter. It does not matter. We are giving the impression of what we want, and the rest of it is going to take care of itself here. The birds are cawing out there. I don't know if that's a blue jay or a grackle or what, but it's loud. don't even want to know how many birds' nests we lost. I don't want to think about it. It makes me sad. Mother Nature, she is cruel, but she takes care of her own. All right. Oh, I'm so relaxed. This is so nice. Of course, I may be more relaxed than you since I'm familiar with this pattern. And if you're not, and this is your first go with it, I hope that you are having good luck, because I really do love this. Okay. Now, what else? Again, you do not have to ink these middle sections, but I love the way that looks. I think it makes it very dramatic. Slow down, Cindy. Remember, inking is part of the journey. Deep breath. There. See? While I was focusing on breathing, the rest of it just happened. Okay, now let's go through here, make sure that we've got everything. Whoops, I forgot one over here, didn't I? Yeah, some of y'all were waiting for it, weren't you? Waiting for it. Okay, now, one of the things before we get to shading, which is going to be a lot of fun, it's going to give this facet part a dimension that you cannot imagine. It's going to be very cool. But before we get to that, I want to do a little bit of line work on my Icantoo, and I want to pull out my PN for that because I'm going to be darkening this, particularly the inside, but I will also do the outside, and hopefully I won't make too much of a mess. What this is going to do is give us some separation between the two patterns. It'll make the shading a little bit easier. By the way, I'm curious if this background is too busy for you guys. I feel like it is, but I want to hear from you. Nobody, I don't think, has left me a comment about that. And so I'm curious. I mean, it was a nice idea, but then when I got it on camera, I felt like it was too colorful, too busy. What I want is for it to fade into the background, and that certainly does not happen. So we have both got the sniffles and coughs. It's not COVID, it's just allergy stuff. This is the time of year when he and I both get sick. He really runs on a sore throat this time of year. He almost never doesn't have one. And he takes medication for his allergies, but they just don't seem to help enough. And he's just got a couple more. I'm going to have to dig my car out before that happens. And all of my Canadian friends are out there laughing at me right now. That's not ice. I've got pictures. I know. We Americans that live in the South are just, yeah. But still, I got a tree limb on my car. It's not a branch, that's a limb. Hey, Sniffly. You know that toilet paper you got there? Yeah, let's use it. Oops, I forgot one there, didn't I? We're going to sneak them in if we can. That's what that jelly roll is for. All right, I think I got all the way around. I did. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go around the back side though. Not like that, preferably though. Well, I am going to remind myself right now, don't prejudge your results, Cindy. It may not be perfect, but it doesn't have to be. And that's beautiful. Particularly beautiful for me. I'm really working hard to retire that perfectionistic streak I've got. It is not easy. If you are a perfectionist, you know what I'm talking about. Always making everything just so, it's exhausting. Try to let go of that in your art, because I've got news for you. There's no such thing as perfect. And the great thing about art is it doesn't have to be perfect. Particularly hand-drawn. Don't compare yourself to artists that do photoreal stuff. There's more to art than that. All right. Now I'm considering using my PN to go over my connecting corner lines, but I haven't quite decided yet. I think I will. You know how I am. Except for this. This is what I did not want to happen. So I'm going to have to slow down once again. You can see probably that by emphasizing these particular lines, we are emphasizing the meta pattern. At least that's what I hope is going on here. Once we add the shading, it won't look so out of place, I don't think. Okay. I think I got most of them. Yep. Somebody will probably tell me if I didn't. Tell me. So I'm thinking right now, I'm going to put a little dot of ink here. And here in a minute, I'm going to bring my jelly roll through, and I'm just going to put a couple of dots here at these center points. A little dot of white. There, I think that's mostly it. And that's what I'm going to do with my little orbs too. Okay, now let's get out our graphite pencil and see where we're at. All right, this is one of those situations where you're going to want to shade one side heavily. And then let's see. Actually, so we're going to want to shade on one side of our original triangle line, if you can figure out where that's at. I think that's what I'm going to do. See, immediately that helps the 3D quality of that. Now I'm going to shade on the same side all the way around in a circle. We'll see what we think of it. I've done so many different tangles with you guys over the last year that I lose track. I really do. All right, so over here. And right here. Now, as you move on and you're asking yourself, okay, now I'm here, which side do I do? Keep going on the same side of each triangle. Or at least this side, okay? You're going to want to leave lights and darks opposite each other. At least I do. Remember, you do not want to learn shading from me. I am okay at shading. I have decent instincts with shading, but I am not a good shader. I do not have the science behind shading that I need to understand in order to explain it to anybody, and I learned what little I know from someone else. So I just want to point out that if you are trying to learn shading, you need to learn from my teacher, Annie Oken, and she will set you right. Okay. So on this, I've got two opposite sides. So this is going to have to be, and this one is here. I'm going to do this here. We may end up with something screwy. That would be fine with me. If I get a decent, let's see. I'm going to put it on this side. This one's going to have two sides that are dark. And then, yeah, that's probably not going to work. So just do the best you can. I don't know what to say. I'm trying to keep it as straight as possible, but there are just going to be some that are going to come together. So I'm not going to be able to give you a hard, fast rule on this. Start by shading one side on the inside and then just keep going and see where you end up. If you're not sure, do what we did in the tile and work around it. Yeah, I have to do these. So a couple of these in the center are going to have doubles. That's all right with me. Again, this is not a rule. This is not rule-based shading. This is Cindy-based shading. So yeah, it's not rule-based shading. It's Cindy-based shading. So you guys have some patience with me. This is how I'm going to handle it. And if you guys are not comfortable with that, I totally get it. All right, so let's blend this out and sort of see where we're at. I really have the inclination right here to put some more color. So I think I'm going to go ahead. I think as long as you've got one side clear, this is going to be all right. Excuse me, get the hiccups again. I'm just going to carefully blend this in. And what I may do on these ones that have two sides is I may bring my eraser in and lighten the color on one and darken on one, so that we have a bit more of a 3D feel on it. I'll definitely have the eraser out for some of these spots that I've gotten too crazy on. How cool is this though, guys? Isn't this neat? I love it. I have also seen people just shade in these corner areas where they come together, and that also works fairly well. So play around with this in your sketch pad and see what you like. And let me know in comments what you decided to do, because I'm really curious. When I do these videos, you know, they're off the cuff, meaning that I don't have a script or anything that I'm going by, because that would be impossible for me to read and draw at the same time. Yeah, that's not happening. And so I frequently forget to say things that I should, or, you know, that looks really good. I really like that. Really, really like that. Let me see if this light will turn this a little bit so you can see. Yeah. See, that looks pretty good, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Doesn't it? Doesn't it? Okay, so next I am going to take my pencil again, and I'm going to put color underneath these Icantoos, meaning where they overlap the Fassett. I'm going to add shading there, regardless of what's already happening in that area. Oh, I've got Chopin playing in my head. Nope. Or is that Beethoven? I don't know. I wish I could hear the music as I am doing these. More likely it's whatever I'm hearing in my head when I'm drawing is what's going to end up on the soundtrack. Now I've got quite a bit of graphite down here, and I definitely will be using my eraser to clean this up. I may use my koi coloring brush pen to get some more depth in here. I'm not sure. Here, I think I got all the way around. All right, I'm going to blend this really quickly and then grab my eraser and do a little bit of cleanup. And then I think I'd like to just very carefully do just some slight contouring on the Icantoo. I don't think I can do it right now because I'm too graphite heavy right now, but as soon as I finish this and clean up a little bit, I think I'll be able to do that. And of course, if you do not want to do this level of shading, you do not have to. I just don't think it's done until this is finished. So that's me. But you do not have to. If you're not a fan of shading, then don't do it. You don't have to. It's not a rule. It just tends to be where I go. All right. This is my favorite thing, my Mono Zero eraser by Tombow. And it's got this teeny tiny little tip. And it is perfect for cleaning up graphite in teeny tiny little spaces. So I'm going to want to try, I'm going to go ahead and take the borderline out. I'm going to try to not swipe graphite everywhere. And the last thing I'm going to do is bring my white charcoal pen in here and do one of the offsides in that. It's gonna look pretty cool when we're done, I think. And if not, it's gonna be a learning experience and I'll get over it. So far, I've managed to be mostly satisfied with the tiles that come out. And I frequently think, you know, it's not my favorite thing, but it's okay. And that's okay. And then a week or two later, or a month or a year, or whenever I come back and look at it again, I'm like, wow, this is decent. I like it. So, you know, don't be too hard on yourself, guys. Give yourselves a break. I was told this so often by Annie Oken that it may have gotten in. I don't know. I'm learning to be less harsh with myself. And you guys know, because you always get on me when I'm too negative. So I appreciate that. We don't want to be negative about this. This is something that is supposed to be relaxing and joyful. And if you're constantly cutting yourself down and finding fault with it, then you're not relaxing, are you? So let's make a choice today. All right. So this is where I'm at now. I'm going to hopefully come up with my white charcoal pencil, which is down to a nub. No, that's a different white charcoal. Where's my other one? Where's my good one? Where is it? Nope. It's gotten so small that I can barely keep up with it now. This is an off-brand one. I don't recommend it. It says it's soft, but it's not. So if you ever see these, don't buy them. The tips are really scritchy. It doesn't put down a lot of color the way the generals do, and so I'm always dissatisfied unless you can find a good spot. Anyway, so the generals would just go down smoothly, and this you really have to scrub on, so we'll see. So I think, let's try, I never got in here with this, did I? Let's try this. Okay. Yeah. All right. So let's do here. And you just want one side with the white charcoal. For me, I don't care which side it is. I'm sure Annie would have a very good reason for putting it in a certain place. But I'm not her. She's way smarter than me. I'm having trouble telling where I put it and where I haven't. Okay. All right. So here. I'm gonna lift some of this up and just leave a little bit of graphite on it. There we go. Okay, what else have I forgotten? Okay, so I think I got most of them. Okay. All right. Now, the only other thing I wanted was to put some white right here where this sort of punches out. I may or may not use graphite on these, I don't know. We're about to find out, aren't we? Okay. Now finally, I'll look for any more stray spots. I've got a little too much graphite. So pretty good. All right, so not so bad when you get it out of my grayed out light. I probably will do a tiny bit more ink work. You know me. But for the most part, this is where I'm going to stop. Oh, I forgot something really important. Let's do that. The magic happens. Let's make it. Forgot my jelly roll. Don't forget the jelly roll. Sorry, that's how I start mine. Right on my fingers. So I'm just going to start here in the middle and put a little dot. Sort of brighten this up. Okay, and then I'm going to go around the border. And just dot in a little bit. And this pen is a Sakura Jelly Roll 10. And the ink just flows out of these. So this is my favorite. Here. Oh yeah, that makes a big difference, doesn't it? All of a sudden, that sort of muddy gray is a whole different thing. Yeah, that looks good. The devil is in the details. The more time you spend at the end of a tile, the better it's going to look. And I don't mean erasing what you've done. I mean dressing it up. Because when you see this, you're not going to be going, oh, wow, look at that curvy line. Oh, see that deckled line over there? And you're not going to go, wow, that's kind of cool looking. Cool looking, right? Okay, guys, this is where we're stopping today before I go nuts. It's icy and cold outside here. I hope everyone in the world is someplace warm and snuggly with people they love or their pens, papers, and pencils, and just put music on, listen to a book, do something while you draw, and make yourself happy today, okay? All right, guys, this is where I'm going to leave you today. It looks better if you angle it like this. Thank you so much for being with me today. Don't forget, if you are a member in Tier 3, I want you to be sure you're paying attention to the community tab this week. I'll be putting a Zoom meeting info on there for you guys to hang out with me. And for those of you who are Tier 2, keep looking for that Zia video. It's coming, I promise. Okay? All right. I'm going to see you in the next lesson. Thanks for being with me, guys.